It's 5:15 in the morning. Sarah Khumalo is hitting the road, driving nearly 60 kilometers for a training session in Pretoria. It's a long trip, but in some ways it's just the start of a much tougher journey.
Close them up and take me down. Easy stuff, ladies. Well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. In 3, 2, 1, and up and open.
Khumalo is hoping to climb Mount Everest, the highest peak on the planet. She'll make history if she gets to the summit, becoming the first black African woman to reach the top. She says the climb sends a clear message to young girls.
Gender shouldn't be an issue. Where they come from shouldn't be an issue. How much they have shouldn't be an issue. They must believe in themselves. If you believe in yourself, everybody else believes in you, and that takes you to the next step.
Khumalo has been to Everest twice. Both trips ended in tragedy. A massive avalanche killed 16 guides in 2014. Just 1 year later, and there's more chaos. Nearly 20 climbers die as a quake rocks Nepal. The country lies in ruins. Khumalo heads home, her dream in tatters. But she refuses to give up.
No situation is permanent unless if you allow it. So understand it, suck from it, learn from it, and move forward. Because it's possible. Only if you wallow in the negative that you remain within that situation. Tomorrow is another day and another chance for me to try again.
Sarah has scaled some of the highest peaks in the world, but she's not taking any chances, using the West Cliff steps as a training ground for Everest. For her, it's a walk in the park. For the rest of us, it's a little tougher.
Make no mistake, Everest is a hard taskmaster. The air is extremely thin, with oxygen levels nearly 70% below normal. But Khumalo isn't afraid. She's already come close to death, falling into a coma after a bike accident last year.
3, 2, 1, and press. Squeeze, 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 squeeze.
Just a few weeks later, she was back in her car, heading to the gym.
I think many a times we look at other people to make a difference. And we also look at how only extraordinary people do certain things. But you know what? Even ordinary people like me can do extraordinary things. And I think that's why I'm doing this and pushing forward.
Khumalo could rewrite the record books, but she's determined to help others. She's already raised nearly R500,000. That money will go towards libraries in poor communities. She says it's just one step towards a better South Africa. One step that could take her to the top of the world. Michael Marillier, Johannesburg. So you've decided to run the Comrades. You've done the training. You've bought the kit. Now you want to make some money for a good cause. Sounds simple enough, but you can't just lace up, hit the road and hope for the best.
This is a fantastic moment.
Thousands of people are running for charity. And if you want the cash, you have to make a splash.
You've actually got to have a plan. You've got to have a complete strategy from beginning to end, and you've got to be able to tell a story.
Doe Prinsloo is hoping his story hits all the right notes. He's raising money for the Bible Society of South Africa. Prinsloo started running just over 6 years ago. He says he was a couch potato, weighing nearly 140 kilograms. Then he decided it was time for change.
I just woke up that morning and I said to myself, this is enough. I can't carry on like this. I was overweight. I was always sick, always in a bad mood. And that day I left and I went to the gym.
Prinsloo is a venue manager at UNISA. He handles dozens of bookings for the university each month. He's applied the same principle to fundraising, creating a schedule for social media updates.
You have to be constant with it. I mean, you can't just post once in a week or once in 2 weeks. You need to be on it all the time. And people start following you and they start following your story.
For Hazel Moller and Tumelo Mokobani, Comrades is just the tip of the iceberg. These athletes will cover 800 kilometers before even starting the race. Incredibly, that's 10 Comrades in 10 days. They're raising funds for animal welfare, and it seems they're taking a practical approach, asking donors to help in any way they can.
You know, people in this economy, they're happy to give a bag of dog food. They're not always happy to donate money. And now with that dog food, we distribute as much as we can to various charities throughout the country.
Raising funds is like running the actual race. Plan ahead, keep as fresh as possible, and whatever you do, don't give up. Michael Marillier, Johannesburg.
ENC's Michael Marillier is at the touchscreen here in our studio to give us some context on this water crunch. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Dan, and it is, of course, a Monday morning. Everybody is stressed, everybody's getting anxious. If you're in the traffic, you probably hit a whole lot of red robots. Well, speaking of red, Dan, I want to take you to what we call a water stress map. Appropriate, right? Monday, stressful, water stress. Now, wherever you see orange or red, Dan, that's countries essentially which are having supply-demand issues, where there's a lot of demand and supplies really are running short. And South Africa, Dan, is one of those countries. Not exactly a red robot, Dan, but certainly it's going amber, meaning we need to hit the brakes. Let's go and take a look. The state getting straight down to business, calling its first witness, and that first witness happened to be the employer of Theo Jackson, the man who employed him for 10 years. He's told the court that he felt heartache when he heard about the incident involving Rethabile Victor Mlotshwa. It really is a small creature, Jeremy, but Professor Ron Clark, who you also see just in the background over there, has managed to piece it together over the course of 23 years. Remarkably human-like, Jeremy. It's almost eerie being in the same room as this particular skeleton, which the scientists say has been around for 3 million years. So I'm now walking up the path where a group of porters and Letsecho Zulu brought the late Gugu Zulu down. She's told me that it took roughly 9 hours to get him down to the gates of Kilimanjaro. It's been almost exactly a year since he passed away. So, to use some household appliances in the mold of Stephen Hawking to try to simplify the whole idea, think of a black hole as a massive vacuum cleaner. There's our torch. As you shine that light, the vacuum cleaner just sucks it up instantly. And what happens is as it absorbs more and more mass inside the black hole gets bigger and bigger. So you have these cosmic vacuum cleaners of Eka getting progressively bigger and bigger and bigger and sucking up more and more mass. But inside Uveka, a lot of activity. As you can see, I mean, there's barely enough space for me. But let's go and speak to some of these shoppers now. I mean, they've been in this queue for at least 10 minutes. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Very well, and yourself?
Why did you decide to come out early on a Friday morning and buy all of this stuff? You certainly have stocked up. I can see your trolley.
Because it's Black Friday, so everything is cheaper.
You've come out in a group. Is it true that shoppers hunt in packs?
Yes, it is.
James Otway is a photojournalist based in Johannesburg. He's covered xenophobic attacks for a decade. Now he's changing tack, producing a series of portraits.
It's always been desperate situations. So I thought, let's try and photograph people under normal circumstances, you know, in a more kind of positive light.
Alexi Onene is one of the migrants in the series. He's a professional drummer who fled Côte d'Ivoire.
Souvent dans mes messages, quand je chante souvent, quand je tourne, quand je voyage ici souvent, je chante beaucoup pour qu'on puisse se réconcilier. Mais la main dans la main pour évoluer. Mais je prends même un petit a cappella pour...
These scenes still haunt the country, and so too the man behind the lens.
I've been physically feeling tense, you know, in my stomach. My appetite hasn't really been there because all those memories and all those feelings from 2008 just keep flooding back. And I just, it's my greatest fear that we go back to those days.
Africa, we are one. Africa, we are one. Africa, we are one.
Nondabego Sbisi, Johannesburg.